The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. I'm going to go through 10 quotes here from Carl Jung that just very insightful, will get you thinking. I promise you this video is going to be worth your time. We're going to be discussing a little bit of life stuff and just kind of thinking about life and as it relates to preparedness as well as everyday life. Like I said, I promise you it is worth your time. So the world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. If you are waiting for the world to tell you who you are, it will absolutely tell you who you are. If you're looking for the world's approval, it will drag you down into different directions. That's where a lot of people are. They're waiting for the crowd around them to decide something is important or something is right. In preparedness, we see this all the time. Everyone goes, well, there's always been food and there will always be food, and the unspoken here is nobody else is panicking, so therefore it must be all right. People don't panic until everyone else panics, and everyone panics at the same time. That's how it works. You must determine for yourself what the truth is and where you stand and what you're going to do. You need to have that backbone and be ready to stand up when everyone else is sitting down, and sit down when everyone else is standing up. The world will ask you who you are, and you need to be able to answer them, or else the world will tell you who you are. Number 2 here. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. This kind of goes a little along with that, right? It's true. If you know more than other people, if you see what's coming, there's a loneliness there, isn't there? You can see it coming, and you're kind of almost sad that others can't see it, and nobody else really gets it, and so you don't really have too many people to share that burden with. And that's why it's so exciting to be around other people who also get it and understand it. And, I know a lot of you watch this channel because you like to be around other people that get it, so you don't feel so quite alone. And that's key there. So get around people who also understand and also see what's going on, and you won't feel quite as lonely. Number 3 here. Everything that irritates us about others can lead to an understanding of ourselves. That's the truth, isn't it? You've ever met people who are like super grouchy and like they are convinced that the problem is with everyone else around them, but you can see pretty clearly the problem is just them, isn't it? If you see everyone around you has problems, it might actually be you, and we need to be careful about that. But practically, when we get irritated, particularly with someone else, that is probably going to tell us that they're chafing up against something in us that we value, or something that we have a problem with, right? And that's the truth of the matter. So if you're like, that person is so arrogant, why do you care? Because they offend your pride is usually the thing. Or that person, they just get me all riled up, and, well, why are you so easily riled up, right? What irritates us in others can lead to an understanding about ourselves. You should, when you get really upset at someone else, look at why that offends you and why that gets you so upset. You can't control the other person, right? You can't control them. But what you can do is you can look at what's going on with you. And you can choose to become a better person, or a person that doesn't care so much about what they're doing. 4 here. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. I haven't begun yet because I'm 39, but there's truth to that. If you're getting up there, it's just like, is your life over, or is your life just beginning? We have some younger folks who watch these videos, and hopefully you don't take things too super seriously with your life. That you're figuring things out. Try to make smart choices for sure, but you're gonna You're still going to make a whole lot of mistakes, and that's just normal, okay? Don't be so hard on yourself. If you're under the age of 40 and you're still trying to figure things out, that's normal. If you're over the age of 40 and you're still trying to figure things out, that's not abnormal. You're still working and growing and developing, and we should never stop growing and developing. But I think we put a lot of burden upon young people to have it all figured out. Asking the third grader, what do you want to do for the rest of your life, right? Number 5, you are what you do, not what you'll say that you'll do. You are what you do, not what you say you will do. Our promises are not what defines us. It's our actions that define us, right? Not do you care about others, but do you actually try to help others? Our actions speak so much louder than words. What do you do? I don't care if you're a nice person. Do you actually help people? Do you actually go out of your way to do things for people that need help? That's important. And you may be very nice some of the times, but if you're just nasty sometimes, that speaks a lot there too, right? It's who you are is what you do. You need to do those. You need to do good things, right? That's what defines you. All right, number 6, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. In the preparedness space, preppers spend a lot of time thinking through scenarios of what will happen, and a lot of it has to deal with darkness, right? What will people do in a desperate situation? What will people do in dark times? Now, I've had the privilege or the tragedy of experiencing some of this in real life, and also I've spent a lot of time researching and reading and talking with people who have been through crisis situations in other countries and such, to kind of understand how people actually behave. But tapping into like what you would do in situations, like realistically what you'd actually do, not like what your image of Ramboing would do, right? But understanding your darkness, understanding your dark impulses, what would you really do? And I think that most people will try to help other people as much as possible. You'll try to build community, but remember, you get a bunch of people together and they start working themselves up into a frenzy, into a mob, and they can do some pretty atrocious things. When you get a bunch of people together self-reinforcing each other, and they can do some pretty horrific things. So, but tapping into some of that darkness, so to speak, your sin nature, you may have a better understanding of kind of where people will go and what they'll do. Number 7, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Now, I don't know if I necessarily fully agree with this, but there's definitely some things to that. The things that you just do, right, that you don't even think about. You just, you get stressed out, so you just pull out that tub of ice cream, right? You get stressed out, and you just start snapping at people. Right? It's not like you're like intending to do these things. You just start doing them. Some people, they get cornered and they just start lying like nobody's business. And people, when put under stress, start to behave in certain ways. And it's not a conscious decision necessarily. It is kind of I don't like calling it unconscious. What I like to call it is habits. The habits come out. The kind of what you do in secret and practice, those things start to come out into the open, right? If you stew about people in your mind in secret, when you get put under pressure, you're going to start going off on people, right? All that stuff, that garbage that you're accumulating in your mind is going to just come right out your mouth and hit people, right? what your habits are definitely going to come out in times of stress. And you need to deal with those. Who you are in secret is going to come out in public, especially during times of stress. So I don't fully agree with that, but take it for what it's worth. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Number 8, be grateful for your difficulties and challenges, for they hold blessings. The difficulties and challenges will have blessings in them. We talk about things like grid down or SHTF situation. Well, look on the positive side. You might be able to spend a whole lot more time with your family. You might get to know your family in a much deeper, more meaningful level. And going through hard times with them is really going to knit you together as a family so much tighter. I'm not saying that's the reason why you should go through hard times and you should manufacture them, but look for the blessings in the hard times, in the challenges, to at least help keep your spirits up. You know what I mean? There's people who go through life with rose-colored glasses, and they can be kind of ditzy, but at the same time, you know what? They are happy. And if you just want to be miserable all your life, well then, yeah, just keep looking at all the downside of everything. What I like to do is do the middle, where recognizing the realities of the situation, but then also choosing to look at and focus in on the blessings and the good things in life. Biblically, we would say this is like giving thanks to God, or if you're familiar with the tradition of Thanksgiving, right? The dinner. It's the idea is taking intentional time to thank God or whoever you want to thank, but giving thanks, making intentional time to be grateful for the things that you do have, not spending all your time focusing on what you don't have. 9, everyone you meet knows something you don't know, but you need to know. Learn from them. Do you see every single person that comes along your path as an opportunity to learn? Do you see them as an opportunity to grow? Or do you see people as an obstacle and people that are just in the way? And you need to see people as resources. They have life experience that you don't have. Even if they seem to be so unuseful, you can choose to see them as an opportunity to grow, or you can see them as an opportunity or a challenge to be overcome. Please do see what you can learn from every single person. And number 10, I am not what happened to me, but what I choose to become. Hard times are coming, and you can either become a victim of that and a victim in your own mind or you can choose what you're going to do about those times, and you're going to move forward with development of you personally, your family. Are you going to look at what businesses you can maybe get started? There's always going to be need for people to add productive value into the system, whatever that system is. It may be just your town. It may be just 5 or 6 families gathered together that you are adding value to. But always looking forward to move forward and to add something into the community. Instead of acting the victim and just focusing in on what happened to you, you need to choose what you're going to do about these situations that come at you. Hopefully this has been useful to you in a preparedness focus, and we will have our big update coming out this at 1 p.m. like usual. As always, 6:15 a.m. and a 1 p.m. video Eastern Standard Time every day. If you found these videos useful, you might want to check out this video right here from me. Otherwise, I will see you later. Steve Poplar out.